Happy 250th, America. Here's a fact most of us learned wrong. July 4th is not the day America won its freedom. There was no army victorious, no treaty signed, no king conceding. The war wasn't even close to over. It had bloody years left in it, and for a long time the outcome was genuinely in doubt. July 4th, 1776 is the day 56 men decided to try. That's the whole document. Not a victory notice, a declaration of intent, signed by people who had no idea yet whether it would work. And they knew exactly what they were putting on the table to make that attempt. Look at the last line. We mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Now that's what I call a small group of committed people changing history. Signing that document was treason against the crown they were born under. Several of them lost their homes for it. One lost his fortune so completely he died in the middle of the war in near poverty. Some had their children killed in front of them as punishment for defending a country that hadn't even finished being invented yet. They did not know they would win. They pledged everything on a maybe because they'd decided the attempt was an obligation, regardless of the odds. That's the part I think we've let go soft with age. The knowledge that they were putting everything on the line with all the odds against them for a dream that had never existed before. These were people who understood exactly what a government unaccountable to its people is capable of doing because they were living inside one. So they wrote their reasons down, not as poetry, as a list of specific complaints filed the way you'd file a legal brief, because in the eyes of history, that's what it was. Read the Declaration of Independence past the sentence everyone memorizes, and you get lines like this: for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world. Today we're watching a tariff regime detonate supply chains and grocery prices in real time. Our president is using trade as a weapon against the people he governs, not just the people he's negotiating against. Quote, for depriving us in many cases of the benefit of a trial by jury. What else are these for-profit detention centers doing? Let alone NSPM 7 that's criminalized our First Amendment freedom of speech as terrorism. Or this one, quote, for protecting them, armed troops, by a mock trial from punishments for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states. Sit with that line next to the names Alex Pretty, Renee Good, George Floyd, Lavoy Finicum, and the long, long list of Americans killed by the people sworn to protect us, where accountability has arrived, if it arrives, gutted and slow and often not at all. The founders were describing a king shielding his soldiers from consequence. We are describing a legal system of secret evidence, biased juries, and secret courts, doing the same dirty work with different paperwork. Or these, quote, for abolishing our most valuable laws, for suspending our own legislatures. He has obstructed the administration of justice. He has made judges dependent on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount and payment of their salaries. A judiciary that answers to one man instead of the law is exactly what we are watching get built, piece by piece. Agency heads installed for loyalty rather than competence. Election administration that the Constitution deliberately left to the states, now facing federal pressure to fall in line. A voting rights architecture under direct assault through the SAVE Act and its quiet project of stripping women off the rolls. Mail-in voting attacked specifically because it's the method that leaves a paper trail. Gerrymandered maps defended in courts increasingly stacked to drown out the people's voice. That's not one grievance. That's the structure of consent of the governed being dismantled in real time in favor of the machinery of control, which is precisely the pattern the Declaration named 250 years ago. My husband is an honorable, decorated, disabled American military veteran in a wheelchair. My father, a retired Navy commander with deployments to Bosnia, Iraq, and Afghanistan, among others, served honorably and came home damaged as well. Both of them swore an oath, left their loved ones, and went where they were sent, trusting, as every service member has to trust, that the civilian leadership giving those orders was honorably representing the will of the people and the laws and ideals of this country. That trust is the whole deal. It's what makes the uniform mean something instead of nothing, and watching what American leadership has done with the power my family trusted it with, well, yeah. My fellow Americans, we have petitioned, we have pleaded, we have marched, we have organized, we have voted, we have boycotted, we have impeached, we have tried, Lord, have we tried. We have not been listened to. The depravities continue apace, and indeed accelerate. Which brings me to the part of the Declaration that almost nobody quotes, the sentence that comes immediately after life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The part that's actually the argument, not the poetry. Quote, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Friends, as America turns 250 years old, it is time to learn from our founders. And notice what that paragraph offers: alter or abolish, not just one or the other. Because abolishing is a bloody and difficult process that none of us want to go through. The question in front of us right now isn't whether to give up on this country. It's which of those tools the moment actually calls for, and I believe still today that the answer is alter, rebuild, reclaim, strengthen, restore. It's not okay right now. Absolutely it isn't. But it's not over. A country that's this fragile at 250 isn't proof the founders failed. It's proof that America was never automatic. It was always going to need someone showing up. At every turn, winning the Revolutionary War, abolishing slavery, achieving birthright citizenship and equal voting rights, defeating the Nazis, ending Jim Crow, ending the Vietnam War, fighting for marriage equality, standing against genocide. At every turn, the project of America has required faithful, courageous defenders willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to make liberty and justice for all mean what it says. This generation's version of that isn't a parade. It's policy. It's turnout. It's civic resilience, mutual empowerment, protecting one another and our inalienable rights against all comers. It's the unglamorous, unfinished work of writing the next sentence in a document that's been unfinished since the day it was signed. It's not a slogan for me. It's the whole platform. Policy broke this. People make policy. Policy can repair it, and repair can only happen because ordinary, imperfect people decide the work is still worth doing and worth seeing through. We are not here to abandon America. We're here to reclaim it, repair it, and rebuild what our beautiful, aspirational, difficult, incomplete, beloved country was always meant to be. Care, courage, the Constitution. Vote Melissa for Congress.